Have you ever stopped to think about how artificial intelligence can transform the way you learn? Welcome to a new era in education, where technology is not just an accessory, but a powerful tool that personalizes learning and opens doors to an amazing future. In this video, we'll explore how AI is changing education, the challenges we face, and the incredible opportunities ahead for you. Stay with us and discover how technology can be your best ally in your studies. The emergence of artificial intelligence, AI, dates back to the mid-20th century, more specifically in 1956, when the Dartmouth Conference was held, where academics met to discuss the possibility of machines being able to simulate human cognitive functions. AI, initially considered an abstract and distant concept, began to take shape following significant advances in algorithms, computational power, and, more recently, the massive availability of data. Nowadays, AI permeates almost every aspect of life, and education is not immune to this transformation. The ability to process information at a speed and scale never seen before allows educational systems to become more personalized and adaptable, enhancing the learning experience. Universities and schools around the world are increasingly integrating AI-based technologies into their curricula, from virtual tutors to educational administration systems, which optimize school management. This fusion between technology and education promises to create a more dynamic and efficient learning environment. However, it also raises important questions about ethics and the traditional didactic structure, which are fundamental to human development. Therefore, understanding how AI emerged and its initial impact is crucial to addressing the issue of its influence on modern education. Success stories in implementing AI in education are many and diverse, showing the potential of this technology to transform teaching and learning methods. A striking example is the New Ton Project, an adaptive platform that personalizes learning for each student, using data analysis to identify areas where each student needs more support. Another case is the use of virtual assistants, such as Sophia, developed by higher education institutions, which offer support to students in their academic routines, answering questions and providing guidance on administrative procedures. Furthermore, language learning programs such as Duolingo use AI algorithms to adjust teaching to the specific needs of each user, making the process more effective and motivating. These initiatives have not only improved knowledge retention but also increased the satisfaction rate among students. Renowned universities have invested in research to further explore the use of AI, aiming to create more inclusive and accessible learning experiences. This not only makes learning more interesting, but also more equitable, allowing different student profiles the opportunity to reach their full potential. Despite the advances and successes already observed, the implementation of AI in education has not been without challenges. One of the main obstacles is resistance from educators and institutions, who may fear the replacement of traditional teaching methods by automated mechanisms. This resistance is often fueled by a lack of understanding about how AI can be a complement to, rather than a replacement for, human teaching. Furthermore, privacy and data security issues are extremely relevant, as intensive use of data can expose sensitive information of students and educators. Another significant challenge involves inequality in access to technology. Not all students have the same opportunity to use AI-based tools, resulting in disparities in learning and the quality of education. Without an inclusive approach, these projects risk widening the educational gap. To overcome these obstacles, it is essential that institutions promote adequate training for educators in relation to the use of AI and that there is clear regulation on the use of data, ensuring that everyone has access to the same opportunities, regardless of their socioeconomic situation. Thus, discussion about challenges becomes a vital part of the process of integrating AI in education. The importance of the current debate on the presence of artificial intelligence in education cannot be underestimated. With the rapid evolution of technology, educators, researchers, students, and especially educational policymakers must engage in an open discussion about the benefits and risks that AI brings. Issues such as ethics in the use of algorithms, the social responsibility of institutions that implement AI, and the impact on the teacher's identity are some of the topics that need to be addressed. The debate must consider that the role of the educator must transform by influencing their pedagogical practices to incorporate technologies in a critical and reflective way. The voices of students must also be heard, as they are the main protagonists of education. Furthermore, educational institutions need to be proactive in including measures that ensure equal access to technology, promoting inclusive education that leaves no one behind. Only through continuous and constructive dialogue between all stakeholders will it be possible to shape an educational future that benefits from AI innovations without posing a threat to the fundamental human and pedagogical values that underpin education. The history of education is intrinsically linked to the development of new technologies over the centuries. From ancient times, when humans began using writing, to the invention of the printing press in the 15th century, each technological advance has brought with it significant changes in the way people learn and teach. The invention of the Gutenberg printing press, for example, democratized access to knowledge, allowing the mass production of books and, consequently, a greater dissemination of ideas. In later centuries, the Industrial Revolution brought with it new educational needs, creating schools focused on the practical teaching of technical skills. With the arrival of the digital age in the 90s, education was transformed again with the introduction of computers in classrooms and, later, the internet. In recent years, with the exponential evolution of technology, artificial intelligence has emerged as the new horizon to be explored in education. This new tool has the potential not only to facilitate learning on an essential level, but also to rethink pedagogical methodologies, curricula, and even the relationship between students and teachers. Therefore, understanding this history of intersection between education and technology is fundamental to seeing the impact and possibilities that AI presents, allowing for more dynamic learning adapted to the needs of each student. The presence of artificial intelligence in classrooms marks a new era for education. With the ability to personalize learning, adapt to each student's style and pace, and provide instant feedback, AI transforms the educational experience in unprecedented ways. Online tutoring apps already use AI algorithms to identify students' strengths and weaknesses, creating personalized learning structures that meet each individual's specific needs. A clear example is the adaptive learning platform that uses AI to recommend activities and resources based on the student's past performance. This type of approach not only increases engagement but also improves knowledge retention. Additionally, AI can help automate administrative tasks such as grading tests and managing grades, allowing teachers to focus more on human interactions and creating a welcoming learning environment. The modern classroom is beginning to be a mix of technology and pedagogy, where virtual assistants, for example, can help resolve doubts, while educators become knowledge facilitators. However, it is essential that this transition is carried out carefully, always considering the need for human contact and the importance of the emotional connection between educators and students. The adoption of artificial intelligence in education varies widely between different cultures and educational systems around the world. In developed countries, the integration of AI technologies tends to be more advanced, with robust government funding and an already established technological infrastructure. For example, some schools in the United States and Western Europe have implemented complex AI-based education management systems, enabling detailed tracking of student progress and proactive interventions for those who are struggling. On the other hand, in developing countries, the reality is very different. Internet access may be limited, and the lack of technological infrastructure represents a significant challenge. Furthermore, cultural resistance to new technologies, along with economic issues, can make it difficult to adopt AI-based tools. In Brazil, for example, some initiatives are emerging to introduce AI in schools, but the road is still long. Cultural differences in the adoption of educational technology are an important aspect to consider, as each country and region has its own needs, priorities, and social contexts that influence how AI can be implemented effectively and fairly, whether or not it contributes to equity educational. Technology, especially artificial intelligence, is redefining the role of the educator in a significant way. With the advent of AI-based tools, the educator is no longer seen just as a transmitter of knowledge and starts to assume the role of mentor and facilitator of learning. This transformation requires teachers to develop new skills, including the ability to critically and reflectively integrate technologies into their pedagogical practices. Instead of being mere consumers of information, educators need to learn to guide students in the ethical and efficient use of these tools. This does not mean that the role of the teacher will be easily replaced. On the contrary, human presence remains essential, as the social interactions and emotional support that teachers offer are irreplaceable. Additionally, as educators become more comfortable using AI, they can utilize data and analytics enabled by these technologies to inform their teaching practices and decisions, promoting a more inclusive and responsive learning environment. The future of education requires constant collaboration between technology and humanized teaching, where the role of the educator expands to include leadership in the development of digital skills for both themselves and their students. Personalization of learning is one of the most exciting benefits that artificial intelligence, AI, brings to education. Traditionally, classrooms were designed to serve a group of students at the same time, a method that often does not consider the particularities of each student. With AI, it is possible to create an adaptive learning environment that considers the individual needs of each student. Through advanced algorithms, AI-based educational systems are able to analyze each student's performance in real time and adjust the content, speed, and difficulty of activities according to their level of understanding. This means that a student who is struggling with a specific concept may be given more practice exercises in that area, while another more advanced student may be challenged with more complex tasks. Furthermore, this personalization not only facilitates learning, but also increases students' motivation, as they feel more engaged in a process that respects their pace. A clear example of this is the use of online platforms that automatically adapt to the user's learning style, providing continuous support that goes beyond what traditional teaching can offer. Therefore, personalizing teaching through AI is not just a trend, but a fundamental step towards more inclusive and effective education. Data analysis is one of the most powerful tools that artificial intelligence provides for modern education. With an immense amount of information available, the ability to collect and interpret this data is critical to understanding how students are learning. Through AI systems, schools and universities can identify patterns of behavior that may go unnoticed in traditional educational practices. For example, it is possible to analyze which topics are most challenging for students and thus direct efforts to improve these specific areas. Additionally, data analysis allows institutions to develop more effective strategies for student retention, identifying those at risk of dropping out and offering additional support before it is too late. This data not only helps to individualize learning, but also promotes continuous improvements in teaching methodologies and curriculum structure. By constantly assessing student progress, institutions can adapt and innovate their pedagogical approaches, ensuring that all students have the opportunity to thrive in their learning journeys. In this context, data analysis, when combined with AI, transforms education into a dynamic and responsive process. The inclusion of artificial intelligence in the school environment not only optimizes the educational process, but also allows the implementation of real-time feedback, a practice that proves to be extremely beneficial for student learning. Through AI-based learning platforms, students can receive immediate feedback on their performance on quizzes, exercises, and interactions, which helps them quickly realize which areas they need to focus on for improvement. This type of feedback is crucial as it allows students to adjust their study approach before moving on to more advanced topics. In addition, educators also benefit, as they can use this information to adapt their teaching strategies and offer more targeted support to each student. The ability to accurately monitor student progress and adjust instruction as needed promotes a more proactive learning environment. This way, both students and teachers can collaborate more effectively, ensuring that educational goals are achieved more effectively. The use of quick, quality feedback, enabled by AI, creates a culture of continuous learning that is highly desirable in any educational institution. Several schools around the world have adopted technologies based on artificial intelligence with surprising results. In Brazil, an active example is the use of adaptive platforms in public schools, which have demonstrated a significant improvement in students' academic performance. These platforms adjust content based on student performance, allowing those who are struggling to receive targeted reinforcement. Another notable example is the implementation of virtual tutoring systems, which help students who need extra support outside of school hours. Schools using these technologies have seen not only an increase in knowledge retention, but also a growth in students' self-confidence in their learning abilities. Furthermore, higher education institutions have invested in analytical data to improve their administration and make learning more effective, creating strategies to ensure that corrective actions are taken quickly in relation to student performance. With these success stories, it is clear that the adoption of AI in schools is not a distant possibility, but a reality that is already shaping a new future for education, promoting more inclusive, adaptive, and effective environments. The experience shared by these institutions demonstrates the transformative potential of AI in education and encourages other schools to follow the same path. The implementation of artificial intelligence, AI, in education raises a series of ethical questions that cannot be ignored. AI's personality often reflects the information it receives, which can lead to bias and discrimination. For example, if an adaptive learning system is fed data that contains racial or gender biases, students affected by these biases may receive an education that does not reflect equal opportunity. AI educators and developers must be ethically aware when building these tools, ensuring that algorithms are fair and inclusive. Additionally, student data privacy must be a priority, as the use of AI often involves the extensive collection of personal information. Institutions must establish clear guidelines that protect student information and ensure that AI is used responsibly. Ethics in education with AI requires continuous education and training for educators, who must be aware of the implications that these technologies have on the learning and social lives of their students. A growing concern surrounding AI in education is the growing dependence on the technologies. As schools adopt AI-based solutions, there is a risk that both teachers and students will become overly dependent on these tools. This dependence can harm the development of critical and independent thinking skills. For example, by relying on virtual assistants to answer questions and solve problems, students may end up not developing critical thinking skills, an essential skill in today's world. Furthermore, this dependence can create a disconnect between pedagogical practice and the human interaction essential for learning. The interpersonal relationship between educators and students is one of the most important factors in education. Therefore, it is vital that institutions balance the use of technology with traditional teaching methods, ensuring that technology complements, but does not replace, human interaction and the development of essential social and cognitive skills. Inequality in access to technology is a significant challenge facing the implementation of AI in education. Unfortunately, there is still a digital divide that is reflected in the ability of different groups of students to access AI-based educational resources. Many public schools in the most deprived areas of Brazil lack adequate infrastructure and access to technology, resulting in a disparity in learning. Students who do not have access to devices or the internet at home are at a disadvantage compared to those who do, which can lead to the perpetuation of existing educational inequalities. For AI in education to be truly effective, institutions need to implement policies that guarantee equal access to these technologies. This can be done through partnerships with technology companies to provide equipment and training, in addition to promoting initiatives that contribute to digital inclusion. Only in this way will it be possible to ensure that all students have the opportunity to benefit from technological innovations, regardless of their socio-economic background. In this challenging scenario, alternative theories and perspectives on the use of AI in education also emerge. There is a growing discussion about the need for an approach that integrates traditional and technological teaching methods, respecting the specificities of each student. Educators and experts are suggesting the use of hybrid learning, which combines face-to-face learning with the use of digital technologies in a balanced way. Furthermore, it is essential that the role of the educator evolves, becoming a facilitator who guides students in the critical use of technological tools instead of simply being a transmitter of knowledge. Some collaborative learning platforms have demonstrated success in allowing students to take an active role in creating their knowledge, challenging the traditional view of one-way learning. This perspective not only encourages student engagement, but also builds collaboration skills that are essential in the 21st century. Therefore, the debate on AI in education must include a variety of approaches, focusing on building an educational model that is ethical, inclusive, and adaptable to the needs of all students. As we look to the future of education, the technological predictions for the coming years are both promising and challenging. Artificial intelligence is expected to continue to evolve, resulting in even more sophisticated tools that could transform the way we learn. Some universities are already beginning to test immersive classroom environments, integrating augmented and virtual reality, allowing students to have richer and more practical educational experiences. Thus, science teaching, for example, could include simulated laboratory experiences, eliminating physical barriers and facilitating access to resources that would otherwise be unfeasible. Furthermore, AI promises a significant improvement in educational assessments. The use of advanced algorithms will allow for a more detailed analysis of student progress, enabling real-time feedback and personalized learning strategies. It is also expected that distance learning platforms will become more interactive, with tools that simulate in-person interactions, integrating paleontologists, writers, and educators from various parts of the world in shared experiences. However, the implementation of these innovations requires adequate infrastructure, continuous training of educators, and the creation of a learning environment that values inclusion and ethics, ensuring that all students can benefit from new technologies. In my view, the use of artificial intelligence in education has transformative potential capable of revolutionizing the way we teach and learn. However, it is essential that this process is conducted with care and attention to the ethical challenges that accompany it. Personalizing learning through data collection allows for closer monitoring of students' needs, but also raises questions about privacy and the use of this information. It is essential that institutions establish clear guidelines that ensure the protection of student data and promote the responsible application of technologies. It is also important to consider the continued training of educators so that they can make the most of these tools without losing the essence of human relationships, which is fundamental in education. Therefore, AI must be seen as an ally, as long as its use is based on respect for the individual and the promotion of inclusion and diversity in teaching. For those of you who are an educator, mother, or grandmother, I encourage you to reflect on your experiences with technology in learning environments. How do you perceive the impact of AI on your life or the lives of your children and grandchildren? What would you like to see more in classes to make learning more meaningful? Share your stories and experiences with us. Creating a space where we can discuss and exchange ideas is essential so that we can, together, build an educational future that uses AI in a conscious and ethical way. Exchanging experiences can help other women to better understand what this new era brings and how it can be used to benefit everyone. Nowadays, with the ease of communication via the internet and social networks, the opportunity has arisen to form a community engaged in addressing these issues. So, don't hesitate. Share your experiences, your doubts, and your visions. For those interested in delving further into the topic of artificial intelligence in education, there are numerous sources and resources available that can enrich your understanding of the issue. Books like Artificial Intelligence and Education, The Future of Learning, offer a comprehensive view of the impact of AI on teaching methodologies. Academic articles and publications on specialized websites help to bring to light case studies that clearly demonstrate the application of AI in educational institutions. Furthermore, online courses on AI and its applications in education are an excellent choice for those who want to develop knowledge and practical skills in educational technology. Platforms like Coursera and edX offer quality programs that can be accessed at any time. Finally, attending seminars and conferences on educational innovation provides the opportunity to hear from experts and interact with other educators who share the same interest. These resources can be valuable tools to not only adapt to technological developments, but also to become an advocate for increasingly ethical and inclusive education. The integration of artificial intelligence in education has the potential to transform learning, making it more personalized and effective, but it is essential that this transition is made in an ethical, equitable, and respectful manner, valuing the human connection between educators and students. We're curious to know, what story would you like to hear next? Is there a topic that you think is important and deserves a deeper approach? What are your views on the use of AI in education? Do you see more benefits or challenges with this technology in classrooms? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos, where we continue exploring innovations in education and how they can impact our future.